All right, all right. So in the meantime, hang on. In the meantime, I managed to get a second panel in there. You notice I'm using a lot more black. I'm trying to um, really add more contrasting areas to my stuff. And I think this is the way to go. I was just on Twitter and somebody said, "Hey, whoops, post a picture that you did in 2021 versus 2022 so we can see how much we've all improved." Like everybody was doing it. So I go through and I find a picture from 2021. Among other things, I didn't realize um, 2021 was so recent. It's very recent. You know, it's like it was just here. Anyway, let's see. Let's get this shit. Today has been a real pain in the butt. I meant to go to work today and I didn't go. I got up at 6. I jumped in my car. I got to the gas station. I filled up with gas. Then I moved my car to a parking space to get some sodas or something, because I usually do at work. And I paid for my drinks. I got in my car and then my car wouldn't start. So apparently this just the little trip from the gas pump to the parking spot was enough to drain my battery. And I tried a couple of times to get it to crank and it wouldn't go. I finally gave up, called AAA. The guy came out. Um, he could not he did not have a spare battery that he could give me that was in the right size for my car. But he got it cranked again. He charged it up. Oh, like somewhere in there is like I actually came home, woke my son up, had him follow me down there and try and jump the car. Did not work. Like, anyways, anyhow, long story short, um, he said go down to Advance Auto. They actually will install the battery for you, even if you just buy it there. So I went, all right, cool. That's what I'll do. So I did that. And $200 later, I have a new battery installed in my car. Everything's good. But I had to sort of skip work to do today, which is fine. Like if you're gonna skip work, like December 27th is probably one of the best possible days you could. Literally nothing going on at work right now. But enough of my problems. We're drawing Brillig. I'm on the third panel of the second page. Um, I'm trying to, whoops, that's still good. I'm trying to, like I said, balance out my contrast and have more black areas, more um, blacked out areas. I was looking at some old Larry Hama comics. Now there's a guy who could draw. Great stuff. Oh, and another thing, and I kind of want to bring this up, but I'm a little afraid to bring it up over at the Discord just because it's Um, I don't know why I'm afraid of it. It's just I don't. It's not as bad as it used to be. Um, we had one person in particular who was essentially retarded, but um, we had basically it's cartoonist kayfabe went to Japan, or Ed Piscor went to Japan, anyways, and he went to Comiket, and he was talking about the doujinshi, which is the kind of like their indie publishing um, hobbyist guys, you know. And Comic-Con is the convention for it, and the convention is literally 3 times the size of Comic-Con San Diego, 750,000 people. Now I remember when Gen Con was 30,000 people, and that was too big for me, so I cannot imagine what it is. It's so big they have to have it more than once per year, and if you go on a Friday or a Saturday, and then you go back on a Sunday or whatever, there's no guarantee that the same people will be in that booth the same day. Like, you can be there for just one day. I mean, there's so many people that want to be there. And that's really cool, you know? And it kind of flows in with my philosophy that it's basically the opposite of that recent Scott Serklin video. It's like, don't sell to other artists, sell to the fans. And I'll say the same thing I said to myself when I saw that video. What fans? What fucking. Where are these fans? Like, there aren't any. There are none. And it's not because the work isn't good enough. It's just that, it's become a niche hobby. And this was true. Like, I was there during the 80s. Um, and punk rock was a niche kind of thing. Everybody who went to go see punk rock bands had a punk rock band. It's just how it was. And the same thing was true at different points for electronic music. Before there were like raves and things, it was all about, you know, these sort of synthesizer enthusiasts, you know. And not only that, they're a better audience, a more thoughtful and interesting audience uh, than, and the music was better even than what we ended up with later on after the sort of the rave culture took over. I see it as almost like analogous to like when the cosplayers started fucking showing up, just basically just ruining shit. Um, Same thing with the early sci-fi conventions, the early gaming conventions. Yeah, they were small, but it was just high quality. It was everybody was there for the same thing. They were there because they loved it, and everyone was a amateur game designer, um, and an enthusiast. Well, anyway, remained true for a few years. It was certainly over by the time I started going to like Gen Con. My first Gen Con was 2000, so I know I missed the good years, the glory years of Gen Con as far as gaming goes. But I went to local ones. I went to NanCon in Houston a couple of times. I'm not sure what this is over here. I had it as like mushrooms. Let's see if I can get the mushrooms in there. Mushrooms or some kind of fungus. Ooh, we could do a bone. like a rib cage or something. I'm starting to get notifications from Luke Stone. Cool. Anyways, here we go. So what does one do on a day like today? Let's first of all let's take a look at without the pencils. Yeah, I think that's good. I think hatching is definitely or texturing is definitely the secret to getting a more, you know, detailed looking, realistic looking drawing. Contrast as well. All right, so anyway, to go back to this doujinshi thing. No, it's like it's it's literally a a comic convention for the comic convention years, and it's almost all like porn stuff, which is unfortunate because that's not something I like. But the examples that they were showing on the video, like the production value was really high. What wasn't so high was the drawing's good, but the composition's bad. So it's just a bunch of fucking like close talking heads. They called it close talking heads. Um, you know, plus the porn stuff. But like compositionally wise, these aren't not exactly action scenes. You know what I'm saying? Even though that you would. Anyway, makes you wonder. And I think even Jim Rugg even mentions like this is how we should go. You know, in the U.S., this should be the future, and I agree. I think that here we go. How about that? By the tusks of mighty Tursus. Tursus, by the way, is a walrus god from the Finnish Kalevala. All right, what's closest to the screen? We got our foreground. We got to go into the midground. And that sound effect is going to be a real pain. I can already tell. All right, how about this? Let's start with a figure. We'll draw the sound effect over it. He's getting dropped into this sort of. Originally, I was going to have it like just mud, like a pool of muck or slime or something like that. I'm looking at the size of the feet, and I think they're just a little too big. So let's make them smaller. Yeah, so my instinct is, anyways, the exact opposite of the suggestion that you shouldn't be selling to other artists. I think you have to build the scene first. Because whatever did exist if it ever truly existed at all, you know, is gone. And now it's up to the people who love it, and they'll be the ones who become the customers. It makes sense that this would be water because he's going hit like from the waist down. He's submerged. Um, I mean, I could even do like as if the torso were bending and then the hand was coming up. So what would that be? You know, like which side is the thumb on? I think it's thumb would be this side, right? So it's and remember we're going to cover up a lot of it with the lettering here. And this from this angle, it's actually the thumb would be on the outside, right? Am I wrong about this? So it's like backwards for me. All right, let's try and draw it as if it were this way, and then we'll assess if it's backwards. And then, I mean, obviously he could turn his wrist inwards. You know what? I think his thumb is on the inside, not the outside. Oof. All right. Anyways, if you haven't seen that cartoonist kayfabe, definitely go check it out. And you know, if you have to just sort of ignore the part that, that we're basically talking about, um, pornography, which is what a lot of this stuff is. I think there is a template for a future in there for self-published stuff. What is wrong with this pinky? That's where it should go, something like that. All right. We don't show his head, because his head is presumably kind of rolled behind the rest of his body. I wonder if I'm getting this belt right. Let's see what it looks like. Oops. Does it need more action? Do the legs need to be turned or bent? I wonder. I think one thing that's mistaken is this. Should that be that way? In which case the foot should be turned the other direction. That seems to work better, although I can't see it. All right. I'm trying to do a little drawing on it without the pencil lines just to see where I would go. And then what I do from there is I usually just turn the pencil lines back on to see how close I was. You know, was my instinct correct? And if it is, then I'm good to go. If it's not, then I have to start thinking, did I get it wrong? You know, do I need to rethink this whole thing? That seems to be pretty good. What does a barbarian wear under his loincloth? Well, probably nothing. All right, pencils back on. I'm not far off with the splashes. That's where I was going. There were the splashes. I might erase this part here. All right. Now, as far as I'm going to use this layer. This is like an auxiliary layer that I used up above. Let me show you what it has on it. It's this area right here. So we're going to use this same layer to do our lettering down here for the sound effect. Better be in the right layer. Good. All right. I'm trying to avoid here our tangents. I want this to have weight to it, you know? All right, looking good. We're gonna drop some white in our lettering. Just so we can see it better. Oh, and then for things that need to be sort of touched up. Let's take a look. Boosh. Let's take a look at it without the pencil layer. What do you think? Does it look like a guy falling into something? I think it does. I think I need to. You saw the spottier looking bits. If it looks scratchy or if it has what feels like, a non-liquid line. I think it's probably a good idea to just consider erasing it. Now it looks like he's falling into his death because the black reads as blood. But once we get the water in, back on ink. And we should be good. All right, let's try it from here. Boom. That's some nice contrast coming out. Still reads very bloody, but I'm gonna put some more water effects when we go out to that parallel here. I'm wondering if I drop it in now, how bad will it be? Not bad. Okay. What if I... Okay. Now to make it... This is like trying to get some water effects. Maybe that's not the right way to do it. Yeah, it's the syrup brush, so maybe. Let's try again. That's looking okay right there. And how about this? Okay, this seems to work out to me. I don't know if you can see that on screen right there. Sploosh. It's got to read as more liquid and not viscera and blood. All right. All right. Now the waterline itself, or the edge of the lake, we might extend all the way out to here. There we go. I'm really getting into this Gesinki ink nib or brush. I like the taper on it. Like, I saw it's a tutorial by a guy named Dr. Rockney. And he was doing that. Let's see. Not bad. Maybe I need to go further. Like, I like this side better than this side. So I need to extend my hatching out further and make it thinner. I think that seems to work. And by the tusks of mighty Tursus, I think we might drop that. I think we might change that instead to yeah, like all the way, as he's falling down. And then we'll show that he's still being chased by the slithy toes. I think we're still going to do that. I had these kind of sunlight lines coming in here, or moonlight lines. I don't know if you can see those. See these lines? That was one idea I had. Let's take by the tusks of mighty Tursus out. And erase that part of the pencils as well. And more like yarg. Add text. I like yeow, yeow. Let's try that. Bold italic, right? Something like this. And then I think what you can do is make it vertical. Oh, that's a little bit too big, so. No, it's still doing that weird thing. How do I stretch it out? No? No? That's not it. How about this? Why is it doing this? I like this, except there's too much space in between each letter. Letting doesn't do anything. That's the right setting. I'm wondering if the best way to do this is to suddenly warp it. Something like that. So the only thing I don't like about it, really, is the exclamation point. That works. That works, I think. Something like that. Except we're going to put this all in the bubbles layer. We're going to use technical pen. And I feel pretty good about that. All right, let's why you do that? All right, we're gonna take this. There we go. Problem solved. Problem solved. We still have to draw in the slithy toes attacking, and we might make some changes with them. Maybe angle them further, like a V, so they're focused on the prey here. Like this one's good. This one's okay. This one needs to probably angle in a little bit, or at least angle the head in. Whoops. Which, this is the pencil, so it's totally okay to mess with it. I think that tells the story a little bit better. This I'm going to make this guy a little bit smaller, just to get him away from the edge. Okay. All right, here it comes. Black. Oh, shucks. All right, here we go. And I know I've talked a lot about establishing shots and the need to let your audience know where you are. And I've kind of avoided it so far because, I mean, other than the fact that we're in this sort of nightmarish cliff thing, he's supposed to be in this dream world. So I'm going to show, this is the first, well, I mean, we're showing this cliff wall here. And we're showing this, and we're showing this honeycomb passage. So I guess we are still showing areas. There's going to be a passage up here. And then I'm debating whether to write nightmare, now leaving nightmare zone, nightmare void, and putting some kind of turn of the century lettering over here, like a Barnum and Bailey exit this way on this sign here, so that he thinks he's leaving the nightmare zone, but of course he's going to Wonderland. It's going to be, which is like far more worse, right? Um, the nightmare zone might be all monsters and everything. The thing about Wonderland is it's very unpredictable. All right. So anyway, that's all I'm doing there. I think I will continue drawing on this. We're already at the 38-minute mark, which means I'm about ready to take a break anyways. So I'll continue on this panel, and this might be the last video for this page, or I might do another video just focusing on this page, or maybe it'll take me another video to even finish this panel. But until then, please like, follow, and subscribe. I could use the numbers. My New Year's resolution is to get to, I think I have 50 something subscribers now. 200 for 2023, 200 subscribers. And I don't know if it's possible. When I try and reach 1,000 subscribers on Instagram, and I haven't even thought about Twitter, but definitely want to keep that going as well. And we will together lay out our vision for the future of indie comics. All right. Talk to you later.